Okay, we're back from break. I'm here with Mike and Jim, the Ringbrothers, and this amazing Chevelle called Recoil. So let's start with the exterior. Tell me a little bit about what you guys have done to this car.
Well, it's a 66 Chevelle. We actually cut the front fenders off so we could actually tuck the carbon bumpers that we built into the car. You can see that the fenders no longer go underneath the car. The rocker goes through the bottom, which the fender sits on. We changed some body lines up at the front of the door because they were kind of all funky. It's got a full chassis under it, a lot of carbon fiber, the hood, roof, bumpers, same old Ringbrothers thing.
When you do this much carbon fiber, I know carbon's very stiff, but as almost a plastic material, it'll flex. So you have to do a chassis underneath it, right? You couldn't.
Well, no, you could. I mean, the fenders are rigid, obviously steel. The doors are steel, quarters are steel, but the hood, bumpers, and stuff really have no effect besides weight. So, good weight savings.
Do you guys weigh the car?
Actually, we did.
We did weigh this car. It actually weighed right at 4,000 pounds, so it's still quite heavy.
You got like 900 pounds of dynamite in
Yeah, we actually do. Every part of this car is dynamited. So yeah, there is honestly probably 400 pounds of dynamite in this car. It wasn't intended to be a race car or anything.
Yeah. How long does it take you guys to make a car like this? Because you've got a few cars in your shop that you're working on, but now it seems like the pressure's on to show up at the SEMA show with a car every year. And I'm saying, you guys are busting your ass over there. It's okay, you want to take a year off. If you guys just want to walk around SEMA for fun next year, that'd be okay.
You know, it's funny you say that because it's, you know, you always feel like you got to one-up what you did the year before. And I've said it a million times, but you got different budget and different owners every time, so it's really hard to do that. So you push the envelope as far as you can with what you're building, and you just cross your fingers and hope they like it when you get there.
Yeah, well, you guys have been killing it year after year, so no pressure next year. Whatever.
Yeah, no pressure. Yeah.
We've actually got a pretty cool car for next year. It's a 65 fastback, full carbon fiber wide body.
Now, we saw the carbon fiber body
on display
at SEMA at display last year. I was out there with Chris, and we saw the whole thing in there, and it was like like a supercharged engine on display in there, but that seems like it's a huge undertaking just to get it to work and then attach everything to it, because there's no more steel unibody, it's all carbon.
And that's more of what you were talking about with the plastic basically being bonded to steel and holding that up. So obviously the structure underneath is quite heavy on that car. That we bond to. So,
and it's all tube framed, you know, there's a caged, everything's structurally pretty sound. It's just not much on the outside of it. So I think the car will end up weighing about 2,800 pounds. So it should be pretty nasty.
Another 900 pounds of dynamite and ARP bolts.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. Well, when we were at SEMA, we were talking a little bit about this car, and I think one of the directives from your client was, I wanted metal seats in it, right? That's I don't know if they gave you any other direction other than that, but that was the only thing that he wanted? Just
really metal seats. He just said, look, I want the car to be kind of raw with metal seats. He said, I'm not really into stitching and all of that interior stuff, and I just think we ought to go that way, and this is what we gave him, which pretty much...
All right, let's take a look at
we nailed it, I think, on what he wanted.
Okay, so tell me a little bit about the interior, because this is like nothing I've ever seen before.
Nor we. I mean, really.
Everything in the inside is built out of either steel or aluminum, mostly aluminum. And then when we got done, we really didn't want to paint everything. We were just looking for something else that would work, so we ended up coming across hydro dipping. And we found a pattern that we thought gave it that edgy, somewhat carbon look, or not really knowing what it is.
No, we really didn't want a look of carbon, though. I mean, we were adamant we didn't want anything fake.
Well, I mean, they make a hydro dip carbon. We didn't want that, but we wanted something to give it texture. We wanted the inserts to look like rubber mats on the floor, or inserts, you know. We wanted to look like they're over the top of things, where you looked in there and it had a mat, like a typical car. But
that's all machined aluminum.
Oh, wow.
So, but just powder coated to give it that rubber feel. Yeah, exactly.
Now, on the doors, the door handle looks like it's off of a bicycle or a brake handle. It looks like the brake handle, like we'll pull we'll get a close-up of that, but it's basically like the brake handle.
It's off a mountain bike, yeah.
Off a mountain bike?
Yeah.
Did you take it off Mike's bike? Did you bike into work one day?
As you can see, we don't have bikes.
Just the little details, the headrest and the way it looks like it all sort of moves around and it kind of adjusts. That's kind of cool. The dash is minimal. You have a race pack dash on it. Now, do you guys make the steering wheel as well?
We did. Actually, it was all old hinge parts, 55 Chevy hinge parts, and cut it up. The silver part is just sheet metal.
Okay.
And an old gas cap that we had on some other project, and then gave a little love to HRE and the wheel. So
yeah,
they'll probably get a lot of calls on having steering wheels made now.
Yeah. Well, before we get to the engine, let's go to the back of the car and take a look at what's over there. There's definitely a lot of work that's been put into the back of the car. It's got to be able to reflect the front, but the wing, the attachments, the carbon fiber, the lights, and the lights look a little like late model Camaro-ish.
We just wanted that three-dimensional feel to them, and
they
believe
work
it or not,
Camaro.
the buckets were Camaros in the backside. We cut basically the lenses and everything off of them and built on top of them. I don't know, the more we looked at it, the more we liked it, so we did it. And the best part is now that we've got all of this stuff done, this is how our parts business grows. You know, everything you see on this car is available through Ringbrothers. So if you got a 66 Chevelle and you want that spoiler or our carbon deck lid or our hood, you can get that.
The exhaust detail on there, now we've seen this before on some of your other cars where you come out the panels in the back, out of the quarters.
The whole exhaust on this system is Flowmaster, and you can't get that sound anywhere else, but you know, that look, we kind of did that years ago, and we just thought it was kind of cool, and it just kind of carried over. It does have that somewhat early 76 Trans Am effect with the twin pipes coming out, but I don't know, I think it worked okay on this car.
It sounds amazing, though.
It does sound amazing. I mean, them mufflers on this car are just amazing.
It sounds like a jet fighter taking off.
Right.
It does.
All right, well, that's a good segment, a good transition to the next piece. Let's go look at the look at the heart of this piece.
Let's do it.
All right, so you guys gotta have to tell me about this engine. I know you've got an LS engine in here with a supercharger on it. Now, your Pantera that you didn't have a Ford engine in it. It had an LS engine in it. I was kind of hoping you guys put the Ford engine in here just to make the other half of that equation.
For something else.
As bad as we got crucified for putting that in that Pantera, I don't know if we'd put the Ford in here, but no, this is an LS7. It's a 417 cubic inch. It made 997 in horsepower and almost 900 foot-pounds of torque.
Wow.
You know, as you can see, it's got the Ringbrothers valve covers on it, which we kind of hide the coil packs and stuff. It's a kind of a cool valve cover. And then Mike actually built you notice how the blower looks so huge on this car. He actually built both the right-hand side and the left-hand side. And it's a cap. It's basically an extension of the blower, but it covers the fuel rails and all that up. But it really makes that blower look big.
Now this is a Whipple supercharger, right?
It is.
And I know they use an external shaft that goes to the front to the back, and you guys just built this all around.
Correct.
To make shaft that kind of hide it. So now it looks like the blower pulley's kind of off to the side and a part of the unit without actually seeing that carbon shaft.
A lot of people think it's like a triple or 4-screw supercharger. They don't really know.
Well, once you tell them it's 970 horsepower, they're gonna think so, right?
Yeah, and pump gas. That's what's so great. It's just very streetable.
This cap here, obviously, this is where all the royal purple goes. This is a dry sump motor. That's where you fill the oil. On the other side is the intercooler tank to cool it.
Yeah, I love your stickers.
Yeah, people don't tend to read them. If they do, we try to have fun with them.
Inadequate lubrication could result in severe injury, death, or even loss of horsepower. That's great.
Yeah, it's fun.
I will be honest with you, though. When we built the car, the blower was touching the bottom of the hood, so the bottom pan you see in there is somewhat of an afterthought because it had to be done.
Awesome. It looks like it's finished.
Yeah,
like it's the piece that needed.
And that's how these cars morph, you know.
They do. You know, we got it done, and every time you close the hood, it would bang off the top of the hood. And
just slightly. I mean, just
enough to piss you off.
And I'm like, what? That's actually why we ground the Whipple name off the blower, because that's what was hitting.
But that
close the hood, it says Whipple on the hood.
Yeah.
Right on.
So that's how that took place. But if we'd have thought of the pan before that,
yeah,
it had still been there. But
so, what do you say we fire it up?
Yeah, that'd be great.
All right. I'm gonna get back here and take a listen. I love the supercharger whine. I mean, you can hear that too. This thing's amazing. And then, all right, you can click that off. Mike, Jim, thank you so much for coming out. This car is absolutely amazing. We got to find some time to drive it, or maybe now is the time to drive it.
Sounds good.
And until next time, Matt D'Andrea, this is Mike and Jim Ring, and for Adam Carolla in the studio, keep the air in the spare and the bag in the wheel.